step one after you've got your LuxOmni is to register the projector. So if you go to luxedo.com, and if you don't have an account yet, you can register. Otherwise, log in. And then if you go to the projectors tab, then there's this register projector option. Going to register Luxedo device. Give it a name. And yes, we definitely have a theme going with our projector names. And on piece of paper that was included with your Luxedo, there should be an ID and a password that you can type in. And click Add Projector. And then there you go. There you have your projector set up. And we can move on to part 2 of connecting the LuxOmni to your network. For part 2 of setting up your Luxedo Omni, we'll want to connect LuxOmni to your Wi-Fi network. So what you'll do is plug in the projector, plug in the Omni. I haven't got to the projector yet. If you plug the Omni in to the wall, then it'll start up automatically. And you're going to want to do this in a place where you have good access to your Wi-Fi network, to your router. Once it's started up, it's going to have a temporary wireless network that you can connect to. It's basically your laptop connecting to the Omni. And then once you're on the Omni device, then you can connect it to your Wi-Fi. So if you come down to your available Wi-Fi networks, there's going to be one here temporarily for Luxedo. So I'm going to connect to that. And it's going to ask for a password, which is also included in the paperwork that you get. It's probably going to be the same password that you used when you registered. And once I connect to this, then I'm actually going to lose connection to Zoom, so I can't keep recording. So let me get my phone and I'll just record the screen. So it's a little annoying to have to do it this way, but it'll work. So I'm connecting again to the Luxedo device. Then within your browser, you can open up a new tab and you'll type in connect.luxedo.com. And so now what the screen you're seeing here is actually your device. You've logged on to the LuxOmni. And so we're going to connect it to the Wi-Fi. Choose your Wi-Fi and put in the password. Okay, so now the Luxedo device, the LuxOmni, is connected to my Wi-Fi. So now I can close this tab and connect back to my regular network. And then once the Luxedo is connected to your Wi-Fi and you've disconnected your laptop from it, then you can go back to your portal in Luxedo, portal.myluxedo.com, and then you'll see the projector there. And now the status says idle instead of disconnected. So we still won't be able to calibrate this yet because we haven't done the next step. Part 3 is to connect the projector to the Omni device. Now step 3 is getting this set up is putting your projector into the Omni. So we'll lift up the latch and carefully open the enclosure. And then we'll set the projector in here to try to get it as flat level as we can, and a little bit closer to this edge so that when we close the enclosure, that camera doesn't get snagged by the edge. We also want to have it scooted up pretty far forward. And the other things we're going to do in here is the power cord from the projector is going to get plugged in right underneath here. There it is. As well as an HDMI cable that plugs in here. It comes with this little adapter to go from HDMI to micro HDMI. So I've got that plugged in right there. And then run the HDMI cable to the projector. If the camera's not working, make sure this cord is plugged in as well too. This is a USB for the camera. And so with the HDMI and the power all hooked up and the projector positioned, then I'm going to slowly close this to try not to pinch any of the cords. That down, and we can plug this in and go from there. And the Omni's also going to come with this to make it easier to connect to your Wi-Fi network, so make sure you find that in the package, and it just screws on to the back right there. So let's plug it in. Okay, the next step after we get the projector registered, get it connected to the Wi-Fi, etc. And you got the projector plugged in. Next thing is to get it calibrated. And when you first go out to put the projector in place, it doesn't shine the light of the projector. So it can make it difficult to know where to put the projector because you're not sure where it's going to shine. So one kind of workaround that you can do for that is once you log into the portal, even if you haven't calibrated it yet, you can still create a new scene, test light, call it whatever you want to, and choose your projector. Click create, and it will probably, mine has been calibrated already, but if it hasn't, it'll probably give you an error message here. You can just click continue or skip that error message. It's fine. And then you'll just have kind of a blank canvas here. And then what you can do is you can add a white layer to this that you project out of the projector, and then you can line it up where you want it and then do the calibration. And so to add that white layer, you can come up to shapes up here in the upper left. Click new shape on the right. Click square, although it really doesn't matter. And then with the square that it puts on the canvas, just fill up the whole space. And you can change the color over here on the right side to white. And now you have a white show, quote unquote, that you can shine on the projector. And so you can click on save up here with the save button in the upper right, and then click on this camera button and preview on device. And then it's going to throw that white light on the house so that you can line it up. Okay. With that done, and you know where the projector wants to be, then we want to calibrate it. So when you log into the portal, come to projectors and go to your projector. Now, mine's still disconnected, but I'll have to go make sure it's plugged in. What you're going to do is on the screen, you'll choose what your product is from the Omni, whether it's the EH200ST or the ZH1, or if you have some other one, and then you'll click calibrate. And I'll show you what that looks like here in the next section. It's going to shine some lights and patterns on the house and take a bunch of pictures, and then that helps calibrate it. That's going to help make sure that everything is set up correctly for it to be able to work. And it will ask you if you want to create a snapshot, which takes a picture of the house that is going to serve as your map for you to put the show on. So I did mine a couple days ago, but this is what the snapshots are going to look like. Actually, that's an old one too. Interesting. So I will show you what the calibration process looks like here in the next step. So here I've got the Omni sitting in the grass. You'll notice it tip forward just a little bit because that's how short throw projectors work. It does shoot the beam up at an angle because originally they were designed for home theaters where it's hanging from the ceiling, and so they adjust the lens so that it would shoot down towards the screen. So you probably have to tip it up if it's on the ground and to make sure that it lines up. But then what you see is it's shining a light. It's got these Beetlejuice stripes on it. That's where it's taken a bunch of pictures of the house to help calibrate it. Now, one other side note on this too that I don't think I showed on the other video is when you take the projector out, the Omni out with the case, and you plug it in, that doesn't automatically turn on the Optima projector. You do have to turn that on as well after it's plugged in, and then you can close the latch and start the calibration process. So if you go through all of that, then it should be calibrated and you can take the snapshot and then start playing around with the software. And I've got old videos on the software on how to create shows. That's still mostly relevant, but I'll likely do another video just to make sure we have any new features and new functionality available to kind of walk through the process of creating a simple show. So I'll probably do that next. And I'd also like to do a troubleshooting video when there's things that aren't going as expected, some things that you can check, some low-hanging fruit to see if you can get back up and running or if you need to talk to LuxOmni support.